everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Spirit Speaker KC podcast. I'm Jamie, psychic medium located here in Kansas City. Thank you for joining us today. And, I think one of the hardest things about a podcast, especially when you're first starting out, is what to talk about. You kind of want to change it up, think of different things, different topics. So, I thought I'd go to one of the ways that Spirit likes to let us know that they are around. I think I've mentioned in one of the other episodes that I believe Spirit is around, that our loved ones are not dead. They are still very much alive, just in another realm, another dimension, and that they are still very much aware of what's going on in our lives, very much aware of still wanting to connect with us, communicate with us, and let us know. Sometimes I feel like we're all one-sided. We always want to talk to them, and we don't believe that they want to talk to us or connect with us. And I'm a believer that they want to talk to us as much as we want to talk to them. And they don't have a physical body on the other side. They are light, they are energy, their soul. Can they take on a physical appearance? I believe they can, absolutely. But for the most part, they are not in a physical body. They don't have a mouth, they don't have vocal cords, they can't speak to us, but they're pure energy. And they have ways of communicating with us in many, many different ways. And so today, I thought I'd tell a couple of stories about how loved ones of mine have communicated with me from the other side. And sometimes, even as a medium, I doubt myself. I'm like, okay, am I making this up, or this can't be real? But I always tell people to trust what you get. I was just telling a student that the other day, that trust in mediumship has to be one of the biggest things you learn. And what I mean by that is trusting what you feel, trusting the information that you get. Now, part of our human nature is to doubt everything or doubt a lot. But I really feel like in mediumship, we have to get to the point where we trust. We just have to go with it and trust. And so I've learned that over the years, that the biggest thing I can do is just trust. And so I've got a couple stories I'd like to give you about ways that my loved ones have reached out from across the veil to let me know that they are still around. Probably my mom is in spirit. As you may or may not know, my mom has been in spirit since 2008. And it was really kind of, besides my grandmother, well, I've had a couple deaths in the family, but when I talk about those gut punching passings, my mom passed unexpectedly. And did not think that in 2008. But one of the ways I'll never forget, this was while she was still in the physical, and I had what I now call or remember a premonition. So in March of 2008, I was in Jamaica with a friend. And I remember one night I had a dream that my mom had passed away. And it was so real. I can't even tell you. It was real. It was so real that from Jamaica, I called my mom. I called collect. I called home because of the way I think. And even my friend was like, no, don't do that. You're going to scare your mom, or you're going to, freak her out. And I'm like, no way. Are you kidding me? Because of the way that I think, I thought I had to find out. I had to find out. So I call home. My mom answers the phone, and I tell her the reason why I'm calling. And I won't say she laughed it off, but she laughed it off. My mom wasn't one of those that, was going to take it wholeheartedly, like, ooh, I got to watch all my steps because I'm about to die. But that was in March or April. And my mom passed later, a few months later, in July of 2008. And I remember thinking, even as I'm on my way to the hospital, it was like that Jamaica just started flooding back to my mind. Like, is this real? Is this why I was shown this? Was I being shown this for a reason to prepare me? So that was the kind of one of the ways that Spirit, even though she was still in the physical, I've kind of thought this way. But then when I see that she did pass, I truly believe that I was being prepared. And what was also so interesting after that is I can remember conversations before the Jamaica trip. I can remember conversations with 3 or 4 people who were talking about their moms passing and how, if you love your mom, tell your mom you love your mom and you're going to miss them. And I kept thinking about all of these conversations. And so besides the Jamaica premonition and all these other conversations, I truly believe I was being prepared for my mom's passing. I just believe that. So anyway, my mom's in spirit. She's passed. It's the night of it's the day of the funeral. I have 2 younger sisters, and they were spending the night at my house. And I'll never forget that night, my sister talked about, or when we got up that morning, my sister says to me, Mom came through. She let me know everything was okay. And I go, oh, wow, that was fast. How did she come about? She goes, well, at this time, my sister was sleeping on my couch. And she goes, the phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And my sister said, and this is taking place in a dream. And my sister in her dream is like, why isn't Jamie answering the phone? I don't understand. Why is she just letting the phone ring? So in my sister's dream, she goes, finally, I just decided to answer your phone. And she goes, when I answered the phone in the dream, it was Mom. And she goes, hey, it's me. Hey, sis. My sister, we call her sis. And she goes, hey, sis, it's me, Mom. I just want you to know everything's going to be okay. And then the phone hung up. And my sister still to this day says she heard my mom's voice. She says it was as real could be. And our loved ones knew that we were grieving. They know that we're grieving, and they want to reach out and let us know that they are around. And my sister to this day says, I don't care what anybody says. I know it's real. My mom knew that I would answer the phone, and she reached out to let us know that everything was going to be okay. And I know that's a typical mom. They would want to reach out and let us know that they are okay. So that was pretty cool, especially when my mom had only been in spirit for a week, 2 weeks, that she reached out and let us know that we're going to be okay. She's also letting us know that she's okay. So I always thought that was pretty cool that my mom would reach out that way. And I had many other experience, what I call dream visitations. My mom has visited me 3 or 4 times. A dream visitation, just in case you're wondering, a dream visitation is when those from the other side come through in a dream. And a lot of us are busy in our lives. We have lots of things going on. We're busy, we're preoccupied. And so if our loved ones are giving us signs, we may not pick it up. We may not be aware of it. So one of the ways that they like to come through and let us know that they are around is through dreams or dream visitations. And they are so real, you never forget them. To me, when you have a random dream, you'll forget those. But a dream visitation, I don't care if it's yesterday or 5 years ago or 20 years ago, you never forget those because they are real. And my mom has come through in 3 or 4 dream visitations with me. And two of them had been in a shopping center, which if my mom never liked shopping malls or shopping centers. So I always think it's pretty funny that she's come to visit me in dream visitations twice uh, in a shopping center. One time I was in a food court, and in the food court in this dream, I'm talking on the phone to a friend. I'm just sitting at a table. I'm eating. I'm on the phone with this friend. And I look up, and my mom is walking towards me. And I couldn't believe it. Whoever I was on the phone with, I said, I've got to go. My mom is here. And it was just my mom letting me know, one, just to say hello. And also, another thing about dream visitations, they seem to never last very long. It's like a minute or two, and then they're over. And to me, they're hellos. They are just hellos from the other side. So that's one of the ways, a couple of the ways that my mom has come through to my sister, come through to me, to let us know that I'm still here. I'm still here. I don't have a physical body, but I am still here. Another story of mine that I've had a friend and coworker that I worked with for, oh, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. And she passed unexpectedly. And one of the very first ways that she ever came to me, I asked her to, by the way, as well. I'm a big believer in asking your loved ones to come to you in a dream or in any way that they know they can get your attention. I just love dream visitations because they're real. So I've got this friend, and she's in spirit, passed away unexpectedly at 51, 52. And so this is probably 10, 15 years ago. I was moving. And so I'm packing up my apartment. You know how it is. You're clearing things out, throwing things away. And as I'm packing and clearing boxes and going through boxes, I come across my friend's obituary. And so I remember just kind of sitting on the bed, and I'm looking at the program, the obituary that they give you at the service. And I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm kind of just reminiscing, looking and reading and thinking about her, our friendship, things we've done together. And I remember saying to her out loud, I believe in talking out loud. And I said, "Gosh, I'm a horrible friend. I'm terrible. I haven't checked in on your family. I haven't checked in on your mom to see how they're doing. I haven't checked in on your sisters. I knew a couple of her cousins. I haven't checked on your cousins to see how they're doing. I'm just horrible. I truly felt bad that I hadn't checked in on her family members to see how they were doing. So I just leave it at that. And I promised myself in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna give her family a call and just check in, see how they're doing. You know how it is. I think part of it, you don't want to be a bother. You know, they're grieving. They just lost their loved one unexpectedly. And sometimes I think we feel like we're imposing on them. And so I think that was a part of it for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just avoiding it. And so in my head, I said, okay, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see how the family's doing. And I'm sorry. I said this to my friend out loud. I said, I'm sorry. I'm going to check in. I'm going to check in with family. So a couple days go by, literally just 2 or 3 days go by, and I'm with my family at a Mexican restaurant. And it's super busy at the Mexican restaurant. So we're not even being seated yet at the table. So we're all out in the waiting area. And I'm just kind of standing there. You know, we're all standing around waiting to be seated, waiting for a table. And no joke, out walks her mom, her sister, her cousin, some nieces and nephews. They all walk out of the dining room of the Mexican restaurant. And I promise you, it took everything in me not to just break down. And in my head, as I'm seeing them walk towards me and they see me and they're all smiling, hey, Jamie, hey, Jamie, I'm in my head going, I don't know. Can you say shitting on YouTube? I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Shitting me is what I was thinking. This was just 2 or 3 days ago that I said I wanted to check on your family. And here walks your family out of the Mexican restaurant. And this is my way. I knew right then that my friend heard me talking to her when I was unpacking and ran across her program, obituary program from the funeral. She heard me and she wanted me to know that her family was okay. And it just took a couple of days when I wasn't, let's be real, who would be expecting that? That here they are walking out of the restaurant and we give each other hugs. We, say how each other is doing, how everyone's doing. And I just said, thank you. In my head, I said, thank you to my friend. She wanted me to know her mom, her sisters, her cousins, they were all okay. And I just thought that just blew me away. It's one of those things that literally blew me away because it just happened so fast. And I think part of what I love about Spirit is how they do it when you're not expecting it. I could have easily been walking around looking for signs and all of this, but I love Spirit. I think Spirit has a sense of humor in its own way, and they like to surprise us. And for sure, my friend surprised me by letting me see her family walk out of that restaurant, letting me know, one, she heard me, and two, that they're okay. So, again, I just want you to believe that our loved ones do hear us. And if there's any way possible they can work it out, they will let us know that they are around. And this friend has had a couple of, she's let me know 3 or 4 times she's around. And literally, the only time I've ever asked her to come to me was after she passed. And I simply said, whenever you're ready, please let me know you're okay. And she's let me know over the course of years since she's passed 3 or 4 times that she's okay. And one was just recently, if you get my newsletter, this is one I just recently talked about in my newsletter. I was driving around running some errands, and I passed by a church that my friend and I visited once. We wanted to check out this church. We'd heard some things about it. So we visited one Sunday. So while I'm out running errands, I pass by this church. And as I pass by the church, I'm thinking about her. I say hi to her. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing what you love to do on the other side. I think about you often, and I hope you're well. And I'm just kind of reminiscing, thinking about us. So again, I continue on with my errands. I've stopped thinking about her or talking to her because literally I'm talking to her. So I just stop. And before I go home, I decide to stop at the grocery store. And so I get to the grocery store. I put the car in park. And I look to my left, and there's a work van there. There's a work van, a business van, parked next to me. And on this van was the name Owens Electric Company. It's a real company. I even Googled it just to make sure eyes weren't playing tricks on me. So 15, 20 minutes earlier, I'm having a conversation with my friend, reminiscing, talking to her. 15 minutes later, I pull into a parking spot in the grocery store. I look to the left, and there is Owens Electrical Company. And my friend's last name was Owens. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make that up. So again, this is Spirit's witty way of letting us know that they are around, that they hear us, that they want us to know that they want to talk to us, because I feel like for my friend to listen to me and let me see her family in the Mexican restaurant, the van. I parked next to the van with her last name. They want us to know that they are around. They love that. I think they get a kick out of it. I truly think they get a kick out of it. And I've always said that they want to connect with us as much as we want to connect with them. And just two more short stories before that. Again, one with my mom, just to show it can be something very simple that they will come through with. Um, at one time, I've kind of mentioned to you all, I'm a sports fanatic and I used to coach high school and college women, girls basketball. And so one time I was coaching a high school team and I got there a little early. And so I'm just sitting in my car waiting for the bus to take us to our game. And so as I'm sitting there in the car, obviously your mind is wandering all over the place. And I start talking to my mom. My mom was a sports fanatic too. She loves sports. And so I can remember at times saying, "Hey, you going to be at the game tonight, Mom? You coming to the game?" I would just talk to her. And so again, I'm sitting there in my car. I'm talking to my mom, and up comes the school bus. Here comes the school bus. And the school bus number was 522. And that was my mom's birthday, May 22nd. Again, some people, that's a coincidence. That's not really a big deal. That's cool. If you think that, again, remember, you're in spirit. Just for a moment, you're in spirit and you can't pick up the phone or text or any of those things. What are some ways that you're going to let your loved one know that you're around? And numbers is a way that my mom loves to connect with me. It's always been that way since she passed. So I'm in the car, I'm talking to her, and you're going to tell me the bus pulls up and the bus number is 522, and you want me to believe that that's a coincidence? Maybe. I don't believe so. I don't believe in coincidences. And the bus number was 522. My mom saying, "Hello, I hear you. I'm right here." And again, I'm a believer. If you would just take a moment's pause and think about you in spirit and what are some ways that you would want your loved ones to know that you're still there, that you see what's going on, that you're a part of their lives, you would do it in many, many different ways. So I'm a big believer in them coming through dream visitations, numbers, the van with their name. Maybe you run across the name of your loved one 4 or 5 times in a day, and you're like, "Wait a minute, why am I hearing this name 4 or 5 times?" That's your loved one. They want to say hello from the other side. So I just believe in it, and I believe if you acknowledge those things, your loved ones will send more, because I'm aware of that from my friend. I acknowledge those things. She's going to keep sending those to me because she's like, "Hey, I'm going to give Jamie a sign because I know she's going to recognize it. She's going to pick it up." My mom is the same way. She knows if I see numbers, I'm going to pick it up, or if she comes in a dream visitation. So I really believe the more that we acknowledge those signs, the more we acknowledge those things, the more they will do it because they know we're going to pick it up. And the last story doesn't have to do with a loved one, but it was spirit guides. Now, I may have a future episode on spirit guides. They're kind of strange. I'm not one who during readings can say that I pick up someone's spirit guides. They're kind of hard because is it very evidential? And what I mean by evidential is, in a way, can it be proven? If I am giving a reading and I say your mom died of cancer and lived on Oak Street and had three fingers, she's missing one. That's evidence, okay? That's proof. So sometimes spirit guides, I could tell you your spirit guide is named Leo, and you've known them and you're like, okay, yeah, what does that mean? Leo. It's not very evidential, but sometimes it can resonate with you. And I believe we're caught up in the names of our spirit guides more than spirit guides are. What are spirit guides? I really believe spirit guides are just that, spirit guides. They guide us on this earthly journey, this life that we're living. They have been in a physical life, so they know what the human experience is like. They've been there, done that. Whereas, let's say, an angel has not had that human life experience. They may appear human for whatever reason in times of need, but they haven't lived that human experience where our guides have. And so I had an incident with one of my guides. So many, many years ago, I was in a meditation and I just asked for the name of one of my guides. I know I just said you don't need to know their name. You just need to feel them, their energy, their essence. But this was years ago and I was just kind of playing around and I heard the name Vance, Vance, Vance. I was like, oh, okay. That's a strange name. And so I asked for evidence or, confirmation, validation from Vance. I said, okay, Vance, if you're real, I'd love for you to give this to me, to show me that you are real. And I've had two very strong incidences with Vance to show me it's real. One, I was visiting a friend in Alabama, and we're on the highway, and I'm telling her this story about Vance. I said, hey, I met my spirit guide. I got a name, and I feel like his name is Vance. And she's, we're just talking how cool this is, that where'd I get that name and all of this. And we drive down the highway another, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles. And the next exit was Vance. I can't remember if it was Vance, Alabama or Vance, Louisiana, where we were going, but literally 5 or 6 miles down the road, there was the next exit was a town called Vance. And we just look at each other like, again, are you shitting me? This can't be real. So I'm like, cool, this is cool. Vance is letting me know, giving me confirmation. I do have a guide named Vance. Fast forward to last summer. I'm working an event in a metaphysical fair in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And for whatever reason, I couldn't sleep that night. I'm up at like 5:30. And as I do, I just kind of, the brain is wandering, you're talking. And I started talking to Vance. I said, Vance, I haven't felt you in a long time. Are you still one of my guides? Because some people say that guides will come into your life for a certain time and they may change. And at one time of your life, you may have this guide, and another time, another. So, but even though I do believe you have a few guides that never change, they're always with you. So I was laying in bed and I was like, geez, Vance, I haven't felt you for a while. Are you even still around, or are you still one of my guides? What's going on? Didn't think any more of it. Went back to sleep. I'm on my way to the fair that morning. And if you've ever been in Council Bluffs, my God, it's trains all the time. You have to be careful how you get somewhere because you will get stopped by a train. And it's frustrating because I don't know, it seems like train runs through the whole town and you get stopped. So I'm at a railroad crossing and the train is there. I'm like, oh, geez, how long is this going to take? So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there. And I said, okay, I've got to get to the event. So I turn around, I pull back up, turn around, and I have absolutely no idea where I'm going. No, I didn't have my GPS out. The town isn't that big. So I know where the center is, where the fair is going to be. So I just take off driving. I'm lost. I'm frustrated because of the train and all of this going on. So I'm just driving. And I'm driving. And as I go down the road, I look to my left and I see this little small business. And I see this sign on the business. and it says Vance Tax and Accounting Service. And I said, no way. No way. Again, just that morning, I had been talking to Vance when I couldn't sleep, and you can't make that up. You can't make that up when I'm questioning Vance if he's still around. Where's he at? Why I haven't been feeling you. And when I drive down the road and I see, yes, you can Google, there is Vance Tax and Accounting Service in Council Bluffs, Iowa. There was Vance saying, girlfriend, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here. I'm here. Maybe it's you. Maybe you haven't been trying to connect with me, or maybe you've been ignoring me. So I was just dumbfounded that morning driving to the event, and I just laughed because, again, I love that Spirit has a sense of humor. I love how they hear us. They want us to know that they are around, but we have to pay attention. What if I hadn't been curious driving around, and I'm driving down the road and I hadn't paid attention? But I believe Vance really wanted me to know that he was around. He made me look at that building. But yeah, what if I hadn't been paying attention? What if I hadn't been paying attention when my friend's family walked out of the restaurant? What if I hadn't been paying attention to the van parked next to me? What if I hadn't been paying attention to the number of the bus that was pulling up while I'm waiting for the game? And so they do. Our loved ones, friends, family, even guides want us to know that they are with us. They really are. You just have to trust. You have to believe. And I'm really big on this too. You have to ask. You have to ask them. Say, hey, I just need to hear from you. And when you're ready, they're able, figure out the way, they will let you know that they are around and they want to connect and communicate with us as much as we want to communicate with them. I'm always big about telling my clients, talk to your loved ones, talk out loud to your loved ones. I talk to my mom and grandma and all kinds of other people on the spirit side. They probably get sick of me. If I had long distance phone bill, I'd probably be up in the millions because I'm constantly talking to my loved ones because I believe that they hear us. I believe all of those in the spirit realm, whether you want to call it source, God, your angels, your guides, your loved ones, your ancestors, I believe they are all tuned into our lives. I truly believe they're all a part of our lives. They want us to know that they are with us. And I hope those stories just give you a little piece of the ways in which Spirit will let you know that they are around. It's not always obvious or hit you over the head, but you have to be paying attention and you have to just trust. And even if it's a dream visitation, ask them to come to you in a dream visitation. And even sometimes I say, give them a sign. So if it's an uncle or an aunt or grandma, grandpa, and you want to make up the sign, you want to give them a sign, do that as well. I truly believe in the intelligence of the spirit world. So if it's at all possible in any way, they want to connect with us. And I just hope that those stories helped you know that they do. Thank you for tuning in to the Spirit Speaker podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also know that you can find me on Spotify if you're at work or you're driving and you want to listen and you don't want to look at me. Just know that you can also listen to the podcast on Spotify. I appreciate your time. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.